Hello, everyone. I'm Chuck Bush for NASCAR. Thank you to all the fans out there joining us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. We've got a really special announcement for you today. I'm joined by a 10-year Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series veteran with over 280 starts, Michael McDowell. We've got a two-time Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series winning driver, David Reagan. And we've also got a driver with over 70 starts in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, including 38 top 10s and 2 poles, Matt Tifft. Matt, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell the fans why we're here today?
Yeah, well, we are here in the NASCAR studios in Charlotte and announcing that I will be joining Front Row Motorsports for the 2019 season. So super excited to be joining these guys here to my right, and it's such an awesome organization, and so pumped to be able to take the next step of my career and look forward to getting started in Daytona.
That's a pretty big step. So how did this deal come together?
You know, we started talking a little while ago, and just from this last year in the Xfinity Series, I really felt like I started to take some big steps to move forward. But the opportunity came along, and talked with Bob Jenkins, and the opportunity just made so much sense to make the jump into Front Row Motorsports. But the opportunity for me to learn from these guys with David Reagan and Michael McDowell, of some really great veterans, was just so appealing to me to be able to not only achieve my dream of going to the Cup Series, but also to learn for some great drivers here. I just think that's going to help accelerate my learning curve, but also make me a great driver. Going into that position, I couldn't ask for any better teammates going into that spot.
And David, you've been with the team the longest. Have you seen Front Row grow over the past couple of years?
Yeah, we've grown a lot over the last 3 or 4 years. I think we're going into our 10th full-time season. I've been here 4 or 5 years, and like Matt mentioned, Bob Jenkins is our owner, and he has really invested a lot of time and financial resources in Front Row Motorsports and growing it very, very smart over the last 4 or 5 years. Each year we've been able to take some small incremental steps to perform better on the racetrack, provide for our employees and our partners, our manufacturer, a little bit better and better each year. So it's been a lot of fun to kind of witness that and to be a part of it. We would all like to just mash the gas and go wide open and accelerate that, but it's very hard to grow in the Monster Energy Cup Series at a fast rate. When you look at our competition, Hendrick Motorsports and RCR, Roush Racing, Joe Gibbs Racing, Team Penske, those are all teams that have been a part of this garage for 25, 30 years. And so I think what Front Row Motorsports has been able to accomplish in just 8 or 9 seasons, a couple of wins, a chase berth, a playoff berth a few years ago with Chris Buescher, we've got a lot to be proud of. So it's been fun to see Michael join us last year to kind of keep that acceleration going. And I think this is a next step in becoming more competitive week in and week out, delivering more for our partners, for our manufacturer, Ford Motor Company, and to have Matt on board is fun. It'll be something that Michael and I can work with him on, and I'm sure Matt can challenge us in ways to make us all better drivers.
And Michael, you spent a number of years running in a single car team, and last year you were part of Front Row, you were working with a teammate. Now you've got another teammate. How's that going to play out? How are you guys going to help each other in the garage and then on the track?
It's been great this season working with David. Like you said, I've kind of been on an island the last 5 or 6 years, and to be able to share data, to share information, and David and I are so close too off the racetrack that it's really helped me, be challenged in areas that I need to improve, and just to have somebody to lean on. And David's the oldest out of the group with the most experience. I was just kidding, but it's been great to have somebody to lean on, and to expand our operation and to be 3 cars now is really big for Front Row Motorsports. Not just having Matt, but it allows us to go and hire more people and have more resources, and that's going to strengthen all 3 programs. And Matt and I have been friends here for the last few years, and it's been really fun to watch him grow in his career and develop. And he's coming off one of the best seasons yet for him, and so it's been really impressive and fun. And for us, it's great to have young blood and somebody to push and challenge us, but also too, just being able to have teammates that are willing to share and willing to help. And David and I both came in 10 years ago, and it was a different time. It was very tricky as a rookie coming into the Cup Series, and hopefully we'll be able to help Matt with that transition. It is a big jump from Xfinity to Cup, and it seems like just yesterday I was doing the same thing, and it's very exciting for Matt and to be a part of what he's got going on.
Well, this is kind of for both of you. I mean, you guys have been around. You've learned a lot. How can you help be a mentor to a young driver coming into the sport like this?
Well, usually, young guys come in like Matt, and they just want to go fast, and they've proven that by, fast cars in the Xfinity Series and running up front and contending for wins. And so when you move into that Cup Series, like Michael said, it is a big transition, and one of the toughest things that I had to learn was it's 500 miles, 600 miles some races, and you can't drive on the edge every single lap of every single race, and so you have to manage when to be aggressive, when not to be aggressive, how to get your car comfortable for longer runs that we may have, longer stage lengths, longer races in general. So those are some things that we can talk about leading into the Daytona 500, the most important race for us to kick off the season. But I think Matt will probably bring some new energy, just like Michael did to Front Row Motorsports last season. It's always good to have new life and new blood come into a team because they see things a little different. They've experienced things a little different. So while we can help in certain ways, Matt will probably challenge us to look at things a little different and see things from a different perspective.
Well, Matt, what do you think you can bring to the table to help these wily veterans on the track?
Well, I mean, I guess all of us have different backgrounds. So coming from different organizations and different teams, I think we've all had different systems of doing things as we've kind of come up. And so I don't know exactly how everything is going to apply yet. My biggest thing is going into the season, just trying to enjoy it and try to learn everything I can and be a sponge from these guys. And as I get more comfortable, I think I'll be able to, analyze things a little bit better. And, for me, one of the biggest things is, in Xfinity and trucks, you really don't have too much data to look at. So for me, that's the part that I'm most excited about, is to learn, the driver telemetry traces. We can do that in the simulator in the Xfinity Series, but we can't do that at the racetrack. So for me, that's going to be a big step to learn that. And once I get a little bit better of a grasp on that, I feel like that's when we're all going to be closer to the same playing field. But I got to learn that stuff just because I haven't experienced that yet. And there's going to be a lot of things for my learning curve to, just get up to speed about from making that jump from the Xfinity Series to the Cup Series.
And we just wrapped up in Homestead, but 2019 is right around the corner. What are some of the goals that y'all are looking forward to heading into this next season, heading into the Daytona 500?
Yeah, we haven't sat down and talked about 2019.
Checkered flag.
On the spot right now.
Yeah,
We're sitting down.
I mean, the biggest thing for us is to get a win. We know how valuable a win is, especially with this format, and there's great opportunities for us to do that. It's really exciting what NASCAR has coming with the new rule package. A lot of unknowns, but I do think it's going to create opportunities where I don't want to say a small team because we're not small by any means, especially now, but where a team like ours, like Front Row Motorsports, may put yourself in a position to capitalize on a late race restart and steal a win. And we used to look at the super speedways, Talladega, Daytona, and Bristol's. There's a handful of tracks where we feel like we could get a win, but now I feel like it's kind of a clean slate, and it could be anywhere. And so just excited about trying to get Bob another win and get Front Row Motorsports another win. And David's been able to do that in the past, and Matt and I would like to add to the collection.
Yeah, I think, like Michael said, we've got a new slate. We've got a lot of new things that are going to happen next year. We don't really know how the racing's going to be when we get to Atlanta, when we get to Auto Club Speedway or Las Vegas. And so Matt's really coming in at a good time because we're all going to be learning the new downforce package, what our challenges are going to be, what makes our Ford Mustangs good, what we need to improve on them. And so I think collectively we're all going to work pretty hard these first 4 or 5 weeks in trying to get ready. But you said earlier it's 2019, not yet, but our guys at the race shop are already working on the Mustang bodies, getting race cars ready. The Daytona 500 is 80-something days away. So even though we've got a little bit of downtime to relax with our friends and family and kind of get things together, the season will be here before you know it.
And Matt, I know we just made the announcement, but what number can the fans look for on the track on the side of your Ford Mustang?
Yeah, so this is pretty cool for me. So being the number 36 car, which is special to me because I drove earlier in my career under Ken Schrader. So that was his number back in the day. Obviously fits into the 30 series of numbers for Front Row Motorsports. But for him being my early mentor, the coincidence of that being my number now, I think is really cool. And such a cool thing to have that as my first Cup Series number.
Yeah, that's
That
cool.
is cool. Yeah. I didn't know that. I just learned that right there. Not the number. I knew the number. I
Yeah.
just didn't know the
The
tie
history
to
behind it.
Yeah.
We're learning things today.
Do we have any questions? Anybody, can they ask anything, or
Well,
is it just going to be us talking?
I've got one question because you
Okay.
mentioned spending time with family, and this is the second biggest announcement this week for Matt. I heard you had some big news earlier.
I may have done something else this weekend.
Yeah?
I actually got engaged this weekend to my fiance. We were at the Biltmore House in Asheville, North Carolina.
Did she say yes or
She
no?
did say
or
yes.
okay?
She did
That's
say
good.
yes. Yeah. So very happy to announce that as well. Didn't plan the two together. Just kind of
Just
happened.
sort of all
yeah.
fell in place.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. We have an early curfew at Front Row Motorsports,
What's
so it's about 9:30 or 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So,
I'm good with that. Jordan might not be.
all right, you guys will have to have some adjusting to do. No staying up late.
Okay. Yeah, we'll work on that.
Well, do y'all have any big plans in the off season? You know, relaxing after Homestead before you ramp things up in 2019.
You know, it is a great time, you know, just to spend with your family, and obviously Thanksgiving and Christmas right around the corner. But really, there's a lot to be done for us at Front Row Motorsports. David and I were at the shop yesterday, and we got a lot of cars to build and a lot of things to get done. And so it's going to be a busy off season, but just enjoying those couple weeks that you have with the family. And I don't have any big plans, but I know all the guys back at Front Row Motorsports are going to be hard at it. This is going to be one of the most intense off seasons that we've had as far as getting prepared for 2019.
Yeah, we don't want to rub in a lot of vacation days
Yeah,
because our employees are going to be working some overtime this off season. So Michael and I will probably pitch in and help do some running around and relocating for Front Row Motorsports and some race cars and parts and pieces and a few things. But yeah, like Michael said, just spending some time with the family. We're on the road so much during the year. We both have young kids, and they don't get to travel with us all the time, so it's nice just to be home and go to the grocery store and like do normal things and hang out at the house.
Matt, I got one last question for you. You're going to be running for the Sunoco Rookie of the Year. You've raced against Daniel Hemrick. You've raced against Ryan Preece. You've been able to size those guys up. You think you've got a shot at winning that title this year?
Well, like these guys said, you know, with his new rules package, it really is going to be a clean slate for everybody. And I've been teammates with both of those guys, both great drivers. So I think the exciting thing is that, you know, going into Front Row next year, we really have a chance to, you know, work the three of us together and I think collectively get better as a team with, you know, each new week is going to be a new challenge because the package is going to be switching, you know, back and forth between weekends. So I think really we have a great shot at being able to run for the Rookie of the Year title, and I'm excited to have that as our goal for this next year. And obviously those guys are great drivers and everybody's in different organizations now, but I think it's going to be a fun rookie class.
Well, congratulations, Matt. Thank you, Michael and David, for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you all the fans for joining us online, watching live. And don't forget, remember to catch Front Row Motorsports on the track in the 61st running of the Great American Race at Daytona International Speedway on February 17th.